there you are, ghoulies, and once again, here we are on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. I'm joined by our own diva, Lilith Lovecraft is here, and from the Twisted Dreams Film Festival, we have Chris and Steve, and of course the Twisted Dreams Film Festival coming to the Underground Collaborative April 8th and 9th in the, basically the basement of the Grand Avenue Mall, but it's a great space, a lot of fun, and, what's the update, guys?
Well, the festival started as an idea we had. There's a lot of other great horror festivals, but there were none in Milwaukee, and we were just talking like, why are there no horror festivals in Milwaukee? And like, we asked around, and like, well, if there's going to be one, we have to do it ourselves. So we decided just talk to a few people, got some tips, and we're like, all right, we're doing it. So it's come along great, it's getting close, so we're pretty excited.
Started out small, just a small film festival. We were only going to do one day, just the films, and then it grew into, well, we'll have vendors, and then we'll have entertainers come in, and then it just grew and snowballed, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now we're over our heads in this festival. It's so big.
It's overwhelming, doesn't it? Yeah, when you plan an event, I know that Dorian Gray Art Show got really big like that too.
Yeah, but it's so fun. We really enjoy it. We really love doing this.
Oh, very cool. So, what needs something like that up there in Milwaukee? There's so many creative people, and you need that outlet. And hopefully by a couple of years, you might be even in a bigger venue. I'm almost worried that it might be too small. I mean, you might have an overwhelming turnout. That would be a really cool thing to see.
We certainly hope so. That's what we're hoping.
Well, sometimes you jump into something too big and then you lose that energy. If you got 100 people in a huge room, it seems empty. But if you get them in a smaller space, there are the twists and turns of the Underground Collaborative. But that main viewing area that we had scoped out, I think will be enough. I'm hoping.
Yeah, the Underground Collaborative has a lot of rooms. If you're unfamiliar with it, there is a main theater that has a stage and theater seating, and there's many rooms off to the side, which we're going to have vendors and entertainers, and Dr. Destruction is going to be hosting a show on Saturday, I believe. We're going to be hosting Crimson Theater on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
And you'll be there on Friday, too. So
yeah, maybe both nights. I don't know if I have a camera person.
Yep. But we have a lot of really, really cool films, local films and international films. We're going to be the Wisconsin premiere for Joe Dante's new film, Dark, which is a really twisted horror film that has a really, it's gonna really kick the festival off with a bang, literally. Not to give away any secrets to it. And we just found out that we are going to have on Friday night, we're going to have our Twisted Nightmare program. We are going to have some members of Dead Man's Carnival. Professor Pinkerton and Sanjula is going to put on a performance at 11 p.m. We may have more performers from Dead Man's Carnival. We're just not sure. We're just sure that those two will be there. And as an added bonus, after their performance, we are going to be showing the Trauma classic Blood-Sucking Freaks on the big screen.
Now, I run into the Trauma people at the conventions every now and then.
Yes.
Of course, Ellie Church is usually hanging around there. But what was that guy's name? Lloyd Kaufman?
Lloyd, yes.
Yes. I really never managed to bump into him somewhere, but I think we could have a great conversation. I mean, I just stared at the crazy titles that Trauma had. And, Milwaukee's Michael Vyers is doing some work for him.
Right, we're working with Michael. Mike was actually kind of our go-between between Trauma and the film festival, and he's been such a big help and really vital. We're hoping to have Lloyd do a little 30-second promo before each session, no talking, turn off your cell phones, but in Lloyd Kaufman's own humor, which is real fun. It's real fun. He just ad-libs everything, and I'm really hoping that he gets to do that for us.
I hope so. I think it's a great idea, and it's something that Milwaukee needs. I mean, they really didn't have a real horror festival. I mean, there was something else, but it really was turned into a burlesque show or something. I wasn't, it wasn't like a good, solid horror movie, festival. And it seems like it's being received quite positively. Looking forward to it. I really am excited about this event.
Thank you. Yeah, we are too.
And of course, Greg the Grouchy Gremlin was accepted.
Absolutely, absolutely. Steve and I both watched it, and we both agreed. This film, this deserves a spot.
Dr. Destruction is
starring
victimized.
Dr. Destruction. Yes, that's going to be on our opening night. Our opening night after dark, we're going to have a Wisconsin Shorts program, which is going to be roughly around 2 hours, but it's all Wisconsin short films. Comedy films, horror films, science fiction films. We've got a really, really good lineup, and I'm really proud of this. So I really hope that we get a big turnout for that program.
Very cool, very cool. We're looking forward to it. And in the honor of the genre and the great films, we have a fantastic film for you tonight on Crimson Theater. It is the legendary Bucket of Blood, starring Jack Nicholson and, of course, the Roger Corman players from that era. Set in a sort of beatnik setting. It's interesting. It's only been shown once before on Crimson Theater, and at that time my guest was Professor Dennis Bayuzik, my painting professor from Parkside, who he was coming on the show, but he kept saying he wasn't sure about this movie. That he just said he didn't like the idea, didn't like the sound of it, and whatnot. But I convinced him nevertheless. There was a deal made because he brought the French film that Salvador Dali did. I cannot remember the title of that one.
I can't remember the
How
title.
about
I'm not sure about
I know
the
what
title,
you're
but I
talking
am
about.
familiar with
you know what
you're
the one,
talking
the
about.
dead horses and
Yes.
So he brought that in. I'll have to dig that up for sure. But we showed that, and anyway, then I ended up giving him a copy, of course, of the show. And later I bumped into Dennis, and he said, I actually liked Bucket of Blood.
Yeah.
So you've got another guy struggling to be he wants to be in the artist scene so bad, but he just lacks the talent. Big Eyes comes to mind. Maybe this predates it a little bit, or maybe based upon it in a sense, because I think that was in the same time period that this film was made. But the man is desperate to become an artist, and artists can be desperate. We're desperate for movies, so you got it right here, right now. Bucket of Blood, starring Jack Nicholson on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Wait a minute, he's not in this. And I am joined again by Lilith Lovecraft, Chris, and Steve from the Twisted Dreams Film Festival, taking place April 8th and 9th in downtown Milwaukee in the basement of the Grand Avenue Mall, and it is called the Underground Collaborative. So give us all the details again on the show.
All right, details. Like I said, Friday the 8th is the opening night. Starts at 6 o'clock. We're going to show Dark, the new Joe Dante produced film. Takes place in New York City during the big blackout they had in 2003, I think it was. So it's about this girl that's home alone and dealing with her demons. So it's a good start to the festival. Again, it starts at 6 o'clock on the 8th. Then we're going to follow that up with local shorts, the Wisconsin Twisted Short Festival. 2 hours of just local horror shorts of all kinds of horror, some comedy, some serious. But so what I love about that program is that how awesome the local filmmakers are, how many great filmmakers are here.
The diversity that we're going to have in that.
And the quality is, it's going to surprise a lot of people. I don't think people realize how great these local filmmakers are. And then we're going to follow that up with the Twisted Nightmare show featuring members of the Dead Man's Carnival, and then the trauma film. Very excited, the Blood-Sucking Freaks from 1976. Doesn't get any better than that.
No, it's the height of the art form.
We actually had our choice of trauma films too, so it took us days, but I just knew that Blood-Sucking Freaks, we just had to go with that. But we had our choice. Lloyd gave us
there
free
you
rein.
go. That's very cool of them. Nice of them to support you.
It really was. Yeah.
And you are it's been very well received, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. We're getting submissions constantly, constant emails. People want to perform, people want to be vendors. We're always getting contacted. Our ads will start appearing in the Shepherd Express fairly soon, and we're going to have ticket sales up soon.
Hopefully soon.
Pretty soon, yeah.
We're going to have them up, by the end of this week or
Yeah, you got to get that going.
Yeah, we'll
get that cash.
We'll have sessions too. You can buy daily passes, 2-day passes. We'll have even VIP passes that people can buy.
Yeah, the passes should be up soon, and then as soon as we announce all the movies for Saturday, those tickets will be up shortly after we announce that.
Facebook pages, website, all that good stuff.
Facebook page, look us up, Twisted Dreams FF. I think is the just type in Twisted Dreams Film Festival. We should pop up in there.
We'll be the first pop up. Yeah. Or type up Milwaukee Movie Talk. We're the only Milwaukee Movie Talk.
Yeah, Milwaukee Movie Talk is our
That's
other
our
page.
homepage.
Lots of information on that also about the festival.
Also, our website is MilwaukeeMovieTalk.com. That has all the information for the festival.
Yeah, and each session is going to be $10 once they finally go on sale. So, pretty comparable to a regular movie. Just hanging out with a few of your great horror friends. I mean, there's nothing better than watching a good horror movie on.
And we're going to have a lot of filmmakers in attendance too, especially the local filmmakers.
That's always good. I always like to interact with them. And
we're gonna.
I can't say that I've actually made a film other than the Frankenstein tree. I don't know if you've seen that. Maybe I should submit it.
You should probably submit it because we could use the money.
I'm good with rejection.
Duly noted. But yeah, we'd like to have a Q&A session after our Wisconsin shorts, have as many Wisconsin filmmakers up. Mark Borkhardt is going to be our MC for opening night. So Friday night, we're going to have Mark Borkhardt there doing his Mark Borkhardt thing, introducing the festival and talking about everything, talking horror, talking Wisconsin, talking about how creative Milwaukee is as a filmmaker community, because like Steve said, not a lot of people know that Milwaukee has a lot of great filmmakers.
Milwaukee just has a lot of great talent overall. That the Dead Man's Carnival, they do such a great job.
Yes.
And all those. There's Quasimodo up there. That's another group that does performances. And then like you said, the filmmakers. And but you've got some good universities up there as well that teach filmmaking, I believe. And I've seen a lot of talent definitely come out of Milwaukee. So. Well, any last-minute pitch?
Well, I just want to say thanks to our sponsors. Moe's Irish Pub is one of our big sponsors, sponsoring the festival. And the Shepherd Express, our ads will be appearing in there. So they're another one of our sponsors. So, yeah, definitely shout out to them for giving us, trusting us with, to make this festival and helping us make it the best it possibly can. So.
All right, sounds good. All right, out there, ghoulies, you can get back to whatever you were doing before this. And here we are once again, along the way, a bucket of blood. Roger Corman back in his early days, and are you guys fans of the Corman?
Yeah. Roger Corman. Without him, we wouldn't have a lot of these strange horror films. See, some people will refer to him as the godfather of, the cheesy horror film of, especially the 1960s, 70s. And he was also one of the pioneers of direct-to-home video in the early 90s. He was actually one of the first to really embrace it. While other filmmakers shunned it, he embraced it. And he did very well with the direct-to-video.
Well, he managed to crank them movies out and just keep right on going. I mean,
he did.
He was no Ed Wood, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, the opposite.
Right.
But yeah, he managed to keep the cash crop going, and then he did like Dementia 13, which actually that's a very underrated film.
It is.
I think, and and of course Little Shop of Horrors and these various films, and using a lot of the same actors. But then he graduates into color, and basically with his set that I always call Corman Castle, because it was reused so many times in those, Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, Boris Karloff, Roger Corman, Edgar Allan Poe collaborations. I don't know any other way to label that than that, but I mean, and those are always a blast.
Yeah.
Even though Vincent Price almost always ends up in a fire at the end. Is there a subliminal message
he
there?
He either falls in a vault of something, a vat of something, or he's on fire or something. That's Vincent Price. But I think that a lot of people don't realize how many films Roger Corman was actually a part of.
Even some that he produced.
Producing, and he's done a lot of productions that he's gone uncredited for that he really helped out. So he really is a blessing to films.
I had him, was that close for him as a guest on the radio show, but his secretary got mad at me and hung up because my phone was cutting out or something. I don't know. But she kept trying to repeat something that I had to do. I don't know. But then I felt so bad that I I left that one alone. But you know, maybe I should try again. He's still going.
Yeah, absolutely try.
And I guess
Absolutely.
Vincent Price had the whole thing. All his wages were set up in a trust fund for later because he couldn't pay them all at once. So somehow he set it up for him. Vincent Price really liked that idea. You know, that he was going to have money later in life. I mean, we all would, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and of course, you know, maybe Vincent at that point during the '60s, and maybe he thought that was going to be, you could be the last of it. You know, his popularity, which of course wasn't the case. 'Cause
Right.
he did all those things with Amicus and Dr. Fives and Madhouse and of course Theater of Blood. He is way over the top in that one.
Yes. Yes.
That's a great film. Lilith, what's some of your favorite Roger Corman movies?
I have a love for all of them that it's really difficult for me to pick one because I love the emotion of each film. It has such a story and an emotion to it that it really draws you in and tells a great story without distracting you, throwing in extra unnecessary things.
Oh, I never get sick of them. And then I'll come along and find out that there's one that The Cry of the Banshee. I don't think I've ever really seen fully.
I just watched that.
Yeah, we showed it though, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
That's crazy. The craziness of Crimson Theater.
You know, I remember when Jurassic Park first came out, whatever when it was, 1994, 93, 94. Roger Corman had a movie called Carnosaur that came out that was, you know, one of the first almost asylum type, you know,
Well, it was a knockoff, clearly.
direct to video knockoff of Jurassic Park. But I thought, yep, that's Roger Corman.
Well, but that was not the end for the Carnosaur
No.
dinosaur. He went on to
No, it
Dinosaur
wasn't.
Island.
Yes.
And I had found out. Well, have you seen Dinosaur Island?
You know, I haven't seen the whole thing, bits
Well,
and pieces.
it was on late night, like you said, direct to video on cable, in the '90s. And I'd come home late, and there was this girl in the movie, and she looked like straight out of a Frazetta painting. If you're familiar with Frazetta, he has a very stylistic way of drawing the females in his painting. And I thought she was very striking, and that was that, and that was the end of it. And I couldn't find the movie anywhere to watch it later until just recently somebody got me a copy. And when I say recently, I'm thinking 4 years ago. Got me a copy of it, and I was like, okay, I got to see this movie and see if, you know, I still think of that actress the same way. And I did, and then of course I got her name. The next day we were talking on the phone, and I lined her up for a radio interview.
Nice.
Which was really cool. She just got married. Antonia Dorian's her name. But she just recently got married, and she did. She had a book that came out, and she actually was in a harem at one point in her life.
Really?
So that was part of the book, and that was an interesting story. But then we were talking about as far as you know, Dinosaur Island, which is super cheesy, you know, and meant to be. It was meant to be what it was. And it reused the dinosaur from Carnosaur, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which I guess they actually blew up then at the set. And that was yeah. Or do you think, have you heard another story? She claims it blew up.
Poor Carney. I haven't heard any other stories.
What I seen get blown up looked more like a chicken that they had modified. You know, but it's got some of the cheapest rubber dinosaurs in it.
Yeah.
But the movie's really entertaining, and she's fantastic in it. And we finally got to the point where we had her on the radio show so many times that it was just like we were talking, you know, like we knew each other forever. Same with Ivana Cadaver, but her and I have hung out several times. But, and yeah, she's still doing stuff with Butch. I don't know if you're familiar with the horror hostess Ivana Cadaver.
I don't think I am.
She is being inducted into the Horror Host Hall of Fame
is she?
at Horror Hound in March, and I get to be the one that
Abductor.
Wow.
Freudian slip.
I'm not going to be horror host.
Induct her into the Horror Host Hall of Fame.
Very nice.
So that's going to be a lot of fun, you know, get down there.
That is amazing.
And she might bring Butch Patrick with her too. So those two work together. So, but you know, another one is she's what's cool about her is because, you know, she gets compared to Elvira, but she's not wearing a wig. She's not being fake. She actually, you know, is into the horror films more. There's more sincerity there with her, and there's a whole lot of because I got some of her shows when she's hosting, and there's a lot of inside Hollywood jokes and nuances that I don't get fully, but she's amazingly funny. But the thing about it is she's such a serious businesswoman, and she knows the business. I mean, it's hard keeping up with her.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
which is interesting. You get those people, you know, like college professors.
Yeah.
That,
Well, speaking of horror hosts, I'm still on the lookout for Rick Felsky. I'd love to have him at the fest.
I
even if
wish
he's-
we could find
Even
him,
if he's not in his Toulouse no neck makeup, I'd love to have him there. I think that.
And then there's the one guy on Facebook that says he's not him. But and I looked and I'm thinking,
I saw him too.
I don't know, I'd say because it's not a very good picture.
Right.
And the nose would be the main thing to give it away because
Yeah.
you've got a beard. But
Yeah.
we would like to see Toulouse return.
Yeah, if anybody out there has any whereabouts of Rick Felsky, Toulouse no neck, please let us
I
know.
met
at the
him
Twisted
twice.
Dreams.
Once as Toulouse, he came to downtown Kenosha.
Really
And then I got an autograph still, a picture from him.
nice.
And then I met him again, of course, when this show just started. It was like my 5th episode, and they brought this guy. Oh my God! Yeah, you know,
yeah.
it takes you a while to find your TV character, you know, and I hadn't quite found it yet, you know. And then we were trying to script things and whatnot, and scripts don't work too well with horror host shows all the time.
Yeah, for me growing up as a kid in Milwaukee, you know, Toulouse, my introduction to horror films in many ways. I would watch Shock Theater.
Definitely
and,
Shock Theater. And the main reason that I caught, him and I caught Svengoolie in the 80s was because they would run the shows during the day. Because when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was not home watching horror movies on Saturday night.
yeah.
I was out causing chaos. The good old days. Were they really that good?
Well, my late teens, early 20s, I worked at a video store, so it was,
there you go.
you know, I got to take home as many movies as I wanted to, so that really educated me on.
And a lot of those titles, VHS, they're collectors. I heard that the Chainsaw Massacre original one on VHS is worth some money.
Yeah, I collect the clamshells, the big Gorgon video big box horror films. And the reason they were in the big boxes is because those companies wanted to take the most shelf space.
Right.
So they put them out on the big box. Those are worth quite a bit of
I
money.
came across it was a double video set of Halloween, a reissue, and it's got like the making of with it, and it's 2 orange VHS tapes.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not even that big of a fan of that movie, but I had to have that just because the orange VHS
Right,
tapes. You know,
right, yeah.
goofy, weird case, you know.
Yeah.
A completely different era. You know.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing though that you could take one of your VHS tapes and put it in the player, and it knows exactly, even 20 years later.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the minute you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's where I left off.
Yeah.
All right, you got to get right back into it now. There's no doubt about that. That's right. The legendary Bucket of Blood, the exciting conclusion of Bucket of Blood on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. We're always having a good time. If you're not having a good time, you're not watching Crimson Theater. There you are, Ghoulies. I wasn't sure about that. It was a false start. All right? We can't have that on Crimson Theater, no.
No.
This is serious business, this show.
Happens to the best of us.
Huh?
Happens to the best of us.
Oh, well, it happens a lot here on Crimson Theater. We always, you know, it's all kinds of problems on Crimson Theater. That will probably be the book if there's ever one written.
All kinds of problems.
Yeah, on Crimson Theater.
Nice.
And no one will believe it anyway.
Oh no, definitely no.
We've seen it all here, and the Ghoulies are still with us. But, well, we're looking forward to the Twisted Dreams Film Festival. Again, that is on
you.
April 9th
It is.
in
yes.
the Underground Collaborative at the Grand Avenue Mall. The Grand Avenue Mall in downtown Milwaukee.
Yes.
And it's going to be a great time. We're looking forward to
Absolutely.
it.
We are too.
And
Yes.
we are looking for Toulouse No Neck.
Yes, absolutely. Please contact us. Rick Felsky. Toulouse
Yes,
No Neck.
Rick Felsky, we want you back. You'll be a major asset to the
Yes.
fun.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And, well, we're looking forward to it. It's been great. I'm glad you guys
Thanks for having us.
and
Thanks for having us.
made the journey from Milwaukee to Kenosha. All right, Ghoulies, I guess that about wraps it up. So you have a horrifying week, and we'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.